So I'm thinking of making Hit the Spot my more casual series, so I'm not going to worry too much about introductions. But if you're new to the channel, I'm Skyburial. Yeah, so I'm just going to hop into it. Yeah, so KFC. Rad stuff. I've only got about half an hour, so I'm only going to have time to, like, record one episode. But, like, yesterday we didn't get to play the Gladion music, and so I am hoping that we get meant. Come on, guy. For real? Give me one more. Okay, thanks. Red. Alright, so, as you guys have seen, it sometimes takes ungodly amounts of time to find an opponent on the doubles ladder. I like to think it's because it's cutting edge, and that's because I'm a hipster. So, yeah. I hope we find someone soon. And if not, I'm honestly planning on working on some hold music, some summer samba, a little bit of that bossa nova, put you guys on hold while I wait for opponents, because, I mean, wasn't that last episode just ridiculous? I mean, right at the beginning, had to try twice to find an opponent, had to cut the episode short because I couldn't find an opponent, like, I don't know what it is, man. I guess this is like, oh, okay, so we get matched up with a Brazilian opponent, I think that's pronounced Raido, and he's got a really interesting team. Evidently this team does fairly well. What do I want to do here? I know I want to bring Muck because the chances that Trick Room's gonna go up are pretty high. And I think I'm gonna lead with Tapu Fini. And I think probably Landorus. Landorus actually seems like a kind of bad idea here. No, Landorus seems good. The only thing that's really worried about on this team is the Jellicent. So, actually, I think I might lead Zapdos here. And then I'll put Muck in the back. And then I still kind of want Landorus at the end of the day. Now, the downside is that Zapdos isn't going to... Actually, Kartana might be a better pick. Landorus hits the Heatran, Kartana hits the... Okay, we're going with Kartana. Alright, so we finally get to bring Zapdos, so do not let me down, buddy. Like, I'm counting on you for this one. So Zapdos is actually my Trick Room counter. So, I have Roar on my Zapdos. Bit of a tech that we used back in 2016 to beat Trick Room. And, well... As long as my opponent doesn't lead with, like, a cat, I should be okay for that. Liepard and Marowak. Alright, so I am actually fine with this. I can't go for Calm Minds, but what I can do is go for a Muddy Water, and that actually sounds really good. And then I think I will go for a Thunderbolt on... Oh, I can't go for Thunderbolt on the Liepard. Alright, so I think this turn I will... I don't want to go for Tailwind either. I will go for a Hidden Power Ice on the Marowak. Does that sound good? Yeah, it does. Okay. Because Marowak can't, like, set up a Trick Room or anything, and I'm not really threatened by it. And I knew that that Fake Out was coming out, so that's fine. Hopefully, I mean, it's going to have a Thick Club, so, yeah, that was to be expected. So that's going to do quite a bit. Ooh, this might KO. It doesn't. Okay, thank you, Tapu Fini. Yay. Alright, cool. So I still can't go for Thunderbolt, so I think I will Muddy Water again, and I will go for another Hidden Power Ice on the Marowak. Alternatively, what I could do is I could... Nope, I think this sounds like my best option. That Marowak's fairly threatening. And I mostly brought out Tapu Fini for... Alright, so Jellicent does come in. I think we're probably gonna see... Yeah, so I went for Hidden Power Ice anyway, because I anticipated an Encore coming out. So I think this turn, what I am going to do is go for another Muddy Water, barring like a Cursed Body. Okay, so Cursed Body does not trigger. I think I'll actually go for a Moonblast on the Liepard slot. And I'll switch in my Muck because Trick Room's definitely going up. And yeah, I mean, my opponent's most likely going to switch in their Marowak. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It's a good turn to bring in Muck, regardless. Muck should be able to stall out a lot of what this team can do. Alright, so Sucker Punch comes out onto my Zapdos, and yeah, that's fine. So we get to pick up the first KO, and Trick Room's gonna go up. So, I think this is probably gonna be a min-speed Marowak. Oh, and we don't see Trick Room go up. Alright, that's actually really good for me. So, on this next turn, I think what I will do is... I'll go for a Muddy Water and hope it doesn't miss. Is that what I want to do? Is that like my top tier play? Oh, Heatran comes in. Alright, cool. I don't mind this at all, honestly. Especially like an Air Balloon Heatran, like, it's not going to be able to do enough, really, to my Muck to KO it. So I think I'll just go for a Moonblast onto the Jellicent and a knockoff. And that probably won't KO, but it'll do a lot. So Heatran protects. So I'm not sure what the Jelly's doing here, but we're using a couple 100% accurate moves, and I don't mind if my Moonblast gets disabled by Cursed Body. Okay, interesting. My opponent goes for a Hex. My opponent is still not setting up Trick Room. That's really curious, because Jellicent's a really popular Trick Room mon. Alright, so Cursed Body does trigger. So that's fine, but because I don't really care, yeah, I don't really care if Knockoff is disabled at this point, because, I mean, both of my Pokemon should underspeed Tapu Fini. Heatran is a base 70, and this is a timid Tapu Fini. So I think I will switch in my Zapdos and go for a Muddy Water. Muck's gonna be faster than the Marowak, unless it's not min speed, but, yeah. I mean, as long as Muddy Water doesn't get a double miss, I should be in a great situation here, and I've got Kartana in the back to wrap things up. So, definitely looking pretty fly. Alright, so we get the KO on Marowak, so that's really good, and that means that next turn we can Thunderbolt the Heatran. So, and it looks like that's what we're gonna do. So, yeah, rad. I hope we don't see a forfeit here, because I'd love to... Well, I mean, I guess I did get to do things with Zapdos. Zapdos, I'm just glad we got to bring you this game, buddy. Like, I'm really glad we got to bring Zapdos. At the end of the day, that's what this episode was about. Alright, so we see a forfeit, and that's fine. Cool. So, hopefully we get up paired this time. Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking for an up pair. I want to show you guys like a top tier game, you know? Like, not that there was anything wrong with that game. Other than, like, I don't know when my opponent spent 3 turns not setting up Trick Room. But, I want to show you guys, like, I guess it's mostly new chalk up at the top of the ladder. But, I want to show you guys, like an 1800s battle. Or something like that. A 1700s battle in the 1700s would be rad. So, yeah. Cool, so we get matched up with a 1700s opponent. And that's exactly what we wanted. So, interesting team. I can't think of a world where I don't bring Landorus to this game. Like, Landorus is actually a super obvious pick. And I think I want to put it in the back just because that Bisharp is kind of threatening. I will lead with... My opponent doesn't have any Intimidators. So Tapu Fini Kartana actually looks really good. The only other thing I would want to bring is Charizard Kartana in the front because it can KO the Sylveon. Charizard can KO the Sylveon. So I'll do that, and then I'll put Tapu Fini and Landorus in the back. My opponent doesn't have much in the way of speed control, and most of my team is faster than most of his team, barring like that Tapu Koko, and I outspeed that with my Landorus Therian. So I've really just got to focus on taking down the Bisharp and the Sylveon at this point, and that's what I'm working on. So yeah, we'll lock it in. No, my opponent could do some really clever switches here. Like, possibly not lead Bisharp, knowing that I wouldn't take that bait. But if we see a Bisharp lead, then that would be super free. So, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Alright, my opponent does lead with Bisharp. So, this turn, I think what I will do is... I think I'll just make an obvious play. So what's the worst that could happen? Double flinch on the Rock Slide would suck. Like, it would really, really suck. He could Sucker Punch Rock Slide and possibly KO my Kartana, but it has decent physical defense. I don't know how much I like, how dire it is that I keep my, kind of want to switch out my Charizard into Tapu Fini. And I think I will Leaf Blade the Tyranitar. We could possibly see a switch into Heatran here. Okay. Does my opponent switch? Nope, just goes for the Rock Slide. It misses Kartana. That's really good. And he didn't go for a Sucker Punch. So that's also really good for me. So I get this Leaf Blade off, and it should KO the Tyranitar. Cool, so T-Tar's down. And the biggest threat to my Charizard is also down. So, we're poised for some really good hits coming out here. And Knockoff comes out. It's going to hit my Kartana. It's going to do a good bit of damage. I definitely should be in range of a Sucker Punch now. And I definitely do not want to give that Bisharp a boost with my Landorus Therian. So, this next turn's going to be a little tricky. Ooh, this next turn's going to be very tricky. Oh, man. What am I going to do here? Goodness. Alright. Do I just give it to him? I haven't EV'd my Landorus to live every Sucker Punch. So, alright. So this turn, I think what I will do is bring in my Landorus, and I've just got to start calling Bisharp's, like, plays. So I think I will switch and protect. And I think that's a really obvious play, but you've got to remember that Bisharp can only hit one thing a turn, and I outspeed it with everything on my team. So, yeah, here comes the Defiant boost. Yeah, that's fine. I've just got to remember that, yeah, it can only hit one thing a turn. That's kind of how it goes. Cool. So Wild Charge comes out. Alright, cool. So I think that my opponent really wants to KO my Bisharp, or rather my Landorus, but I also know that my Kartana will definitely get KO'd. So I think what I will do here is I will Earthquake, and I will go for a Leaf Blade onto the Tapu Koko. I'm just gonna chance it. That's kind of like, that's what I gotta do. So, yeah, that's fine. So Sucker Punch comes out onto Landorus. Does it KO? It doesn't. We barely live. Alright, cool. So this is gonna be a good turn for me. Man, if Landorus got Beast Boost, right? I definitely need to re-EV my Landorus so that it lives that every time. And I don't think that that was a Life Orb Bisharp. Alright, so... my opponent's last Pokemon's probably Heatran. I think I'll bring in Charizard. Okay, so it's Kangaskhan. Alright, so what I will do on this turn, because Intimidate's going to be really valuable to me, is I will go for a switch into Tapu Fini, and I will Mega Evolve and Flare Blitz. Because I think that my opponent definitely fakes out my Landorus. It's just too sweet to resist. If he fakes out my Charizard, then that's fine. Because next turn, my plan is to switch in my Landorus and go for a Moonblast. I'm just going to steadily chip this thing away. Oh, just goes for a Double Edge. Okay. I don't know if that'll KO. It does not. Alright, cool. And that should definitely be in range of a Flare Blitz at this point, so I think we've locked this one up. Rad, so we're just climbing along, folks. We are just climbing along. And now you guys know why I prefer Charizard X over Charizard Y. Yeah, so that was a really good battle. I should probably, moving forward, tune up my team a little bit, because... yeah, that Bisharp game was, real scary. I'm not gonna lie, like, so scary. Man. If Landorus could talk, it would be like, wow, we made it, guys. And I'm pretty certain that that was a low roll that let us win the game. So, yeah. And I think I need to put Sacred Sword on Kartana. Like, I think it's time. So I'm gonna tune up the team a little bit before we do the next episode. If you're new to the channel, please click that subscribe button down there. It would mean the world to me. And yeah, something that I'm really digging about like this series is it lets me like create content for you guys without like basically like what am I looking for? Like shitting the bed on what my team is and like showing people my strategy for like upcoming tournaments. And so I've got like a mid-season showdown coming up this Saturday, and I do not want my best friends to be studying my team. That's kind of how it plays out. Like, I know that they know what I'm going to be using, and like, I've been adjusting my playstyle fairly over the last couple weeks to be able to outpace the other people who run my team, because I definitely built it with Jarek, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be using it. And so, like, it's going to be really important for me to be able to give you guys content, and the reason that I've kind of, like, held back lately is because I don't want to be entirely giving about the teams that I'm building, and, yeah, people definitely do scout, so, yeah, this is a really awesome alternative, and I hope that you guys are digging it, and let me know what you think of KFC in the comments. And, yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. This was Set the Spot.